Good morning, Seawolves. Welcome to another edition of Stony Brook Newsbreak. I'm Bruce Pandolfo. The Writers Guild of America, or WGA, are on the second day of striking after weeks of negotiation with the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers. Over 11,000 of the unionized writers seeking fair pay and regulation of AI-produced material closed their laptops and staged a walkout. Stars came to support the WGA's cause on the picket lines. Many show productions have been pushed back, as well as late-night talk shows, including The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon and Jimmy Kimmel Live. Saturday Night Live has canceled their show this week, which comedian Pete Davidson was supposed to host. Reruns of SNL will be airing until further notice. This is the first writers' strike since the 2007-2008 season, which cost the LA economy $2.1 billion and lasted 100 days. A recent study by the Environmental Working Group testing freshwater fish samples finds that there are contaminated fish in almost every state. The contaminants are called per- and polyfluoroalkyl substances, or PFAS, and have been coined forever chemicals for their inability to break down. This past Monday, it was revealed that an auto parts plant near Detroit, Michigan has been disposing of large amounts of PFAS into the Huron River. Dan Brown, a climatologist and a member of the Huron River Watershed Council, had this to say.
The Huron River, I think, is one of the canaries in the coal mine. I think we're just now seeing the tip of the iceberg. If we're finding PFAS here in all the fish that we sampled, I think any river throughout most of the United States, you're going to find similar levels of PFAS.
PFAS are routinely used in everyday products, from non-stick cookware to clothing and food packaging. These so-called forever chemicals are linked to cancer and other diseases with continuous exposure. More than 95% of Americans who have been tested have detectable levels of chemicals in their blood. Let's hand it over to Mo to lighten the mood with a sports segment.
I'm Mamadou Cisse, here with sports updates. The first round of the NBA playoffs has come to an end, and the conference semifinals are now in progress. The NBA players are down to 8 teams, each team with a feasible route to reach the finals. The final 8 teams remaining are the Denver Nuggets, the Phoenix Suns, the Los Angeles Lakers, the Boston Celtics, the Philadelphia 76ers, the New York Knicks, the Miami Heat, and the defending champions, the Golden State Warriors. All matchups will play in 4 games to determine the remaining 4 teams from round 3. What team are you rooting for, Seawolves? And now, let's take a look at a package created by Hema Sharma that talks about Stony Brook University's hockey team.
Stony Brook University's hockey team is ranked 18th in the nation for the American Collegiate Hockey Association. They are D1 semifinalists of the Eastern States Collegiate Hockey League. I spoke with 2 team members and asked them what it meant to play for a team like this.
From a young age, I wanted to play college hockey, and Stony Brook is a fantastic school, and on top of that, we have a really good hockey program as well. In the locker room, it's a brotherhood. We walk in every day, and we're practicing together, we're playing games, we're going to battle for each other, so it's a brotherhood.
These boys are not only teammates on the ice, but they're friends off the ice. Although they are currently under some shaky circumstances, they've created close bonds and memories they will never forget.
It's something that I'm super proud of and grateful for. It's an opportunity that most people don't get to continue playing in the sport they love at a much older age. Most people's careers end much younger, and we've been gifted an opportunity to carry on a legacy that's been going on since 1969, so it's much bigger than us. Those kids are my best friends in the world, and I've created a relationship that'll last the rest of my life.
Even after advancing to the semifinals multiple times in the past decade and qualifying for the ACHDA D1 national tournament, SBU's hockey team is considered a club, not a sport.
We don't like to call ourselves a club. We'd rather be called a sport, and that's just because we participate at such a high level in our sport.
We need our school to back us up. We don't really have any support financially or even like with student engagement. A lot of the kids on campus don't even know we have a team, quite honestly.
The ice rink that the hockey team uses is located 30 minutes away from campus, making it hard for fans to come support.
It definitely affects the majority of our school because I know for my case, I have to Uber to the games or I have to hitch a ride with one of my friends. And I don't have a car, so it makes it a lot more difficult than people would think. Even with the rare chance that there's a bus that's able to take us, you never know if it's going to be late or if there's enough room, so it's honestly really difficult.
This is a blueprint created of what a hockey rink on Stony Brook University's campus would have looked like.
Not having a rink on campus definitely affects us. It affects the student body and not being able to come to our games. And it would also be a little more convenient for the players as well to not only go to school there, but also have our facilities there as well.
If we had a rink on campus, our practice times would be much easier to navigate around with our class schedule. There would be much more student engagement. I believe it would benefit the student body in general because they'd have an outlet to go skate, go watch games, and it's quite honestly a really, really cool aspect when there's a rink on campus, and the community behind it's pretty insane.
Although Stony Brook's hockey team currently does not have the proper funding to equip more practices, equipment, a rink, and more, they still make the most of it. Many of their fans have described their games as suspenseful and thrilling.
They're extremely entertaining. I go every weekend when they're in season. I like to go because not only is it just a fun thing to do on the weekends, but I feel like I'm more a part of the university.
That's it for this week's sports segment. Back to you, Bruce.
The annual Met Gala happened on Monday in New York City with a plethora of A-list celebrities showing off their best look. This year's theme was Karl Lagerfeld, a line of beauty, to honor the late designer who passed in 2019. Along with excitement, this year's theme has been met with some controversy. People were upset because of Karl Lagerfeld's history of fat-phobic, racist, and sexist comments. In a 2009 interview, he said, quote, "No one wants to see round women." And it didn't stop there. In 2017, he said, quote, "The greatest thing the Germans invented was the Holocaust." King Charles III will be crowned as the monarch of the United Kingdom and 14 other realms on May 6, 2023 at Westminster Abbey. Lasting about 2 hours, the ceremony will be shorter than his mother's coronation. King Charles will take an oath to uphold the law and the Church of England, and he will be anointed with holy oil and crowned with the St. Edward's crown. The public will be invited to swear allegiance to the monarch as well as his heirs and successors. When King Charles is crowned at Westminster Abbey this Saturday, he will wear the same royal robes his mother, Queen Elizabeth, wore for her coronation in 1953.
Has decided to reuse pieces from the coronation of his grandfather, King George VI, in 1937.
His Majesty the King also has decided to reuse pieces from the 1937 coronation of his grandfather, King George VI. That's it for this week's Newsbreak. I'm Bruce Pandolfo. Have a great day, Seagulls.